Welcome back to another great React video, and without wasting any more time, let's go.
The Simpsons will have an official Fortnite live event. True or false? That is actually true, making it one of 50 things you never knew about Fortnite. Did you also know that Epic secretly re-added the most powerful weapon in the game and literally no one knows about it? So when you hit level 5 in a blitz match, there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that you'll get a special level up reward, and that's the Infinity Blade.
Wait, how much damage does this do? 175 damage!
Over in BR, we've had Superman on the map since day one. He was pretty unique in the fact that you couldn't eliminate him. But this backfired massively. Turns out fishing rods still work against the Man of Steel, and I guess no one at Epic thought this through.
Huh? Get over here!
Wasn't expecting Superman to whip out an SMG, but okay then. Moving on to Star Wars, I've barely seen anyone talk about the Chewbacca secret. Because for some reason, floating in the sky, players began to notice a strange red box. We had no idea what this was. They went out to investigate and realized that once they walked onto it, Chewbacca would spawn. But the craziest part is he wouldn't stop.
Oh no, my Chewbacca's.
Basically, this box was the Fortnite equivalent of a mob spawner from Minecraft, and the devs accidentally left it in. Before Star Wars, we had Snoop Dogg getting his own rapper season, and around this time, kids were desperate to meet him. For example, this little guy Noah, who broke his arm and wanted Snoop to sign his cast.
I get to sign your cast, Noah? Where you want it at? I'm gonna sign it big. I'm gonna take a whole lot of room. I'm gonna be real greedy. Big,
Stand by, guys.
Snoop, Fortnite, Dogg.
Now, Noah couldn't afford Snoop's icon skin when it dropped because he didn't have the V-Bucks, and this is where Snoop really made his day.
You finna get some V-Bucks right away. On me. Say less. V-Bucks in the skin coming right up, buddy. 50,000 V-Bucks for my nephew for Christmas. On me. 50,000 of them. And blow them fast, Noah. All of them.
What you say?
Hopefully Noah is spending the V-Bucks wisely. But something we could all get for free is the crowning achievement emote. This is given to everyone who gets a crown royale, but most people probably have no idea why this sound is so familiar. Yeah, it's the same theme that plays when Agent Jones catches the portal gun in the Zero Crisis. Did you know that you could technically wear 11 different characters in Fortnite at the same time? Start the counter. Equip Jake the dog as a glider, that is 1. Then for the pickaxe, choose Sock'em Stick to rep Shadow Monks, and now we're at 2. The back bling is where you really maximize the amount of characters with the trophy sack. Gives you Dirt Burger, Cuddle Team Leader, and Tomato Head to make it 5. Then we throw on the Undercover Sky outfit and keep her Guff mask on for an extra 2, making it 7. Finally, use the Star Wars drum set for a Stormtrooper, ATST Pilot, Scout Trooper, and Imperial Officer, bringing you to 11 characters in one loadout. Did you also know that Fortnite referenced World War II on the Slurp Rush reload map? It went totally under the radar, but if you go to Dirty Docks and look on the northern coast, you'll find a bunker with turrets facing the sea. Heading straight forward is soldiers and boxes deploying on the beach. They recreated D-Day, and barely anyone knows about this. Fortnite's always insane with details like this. They seriously work overtime, especially on outfits with secret identities. Most notably, we have characters like Fennec Shan. You can't take off her mask no matter how hard you try, but hiding in the files reveals that they modeled her entire face, and it's literally the actor under there. That's not even the coolest one. I saved the best for General Grievous. By looking underneath all of his armor, you'll discover that Fortnite modeled his entire organs. A little disgusting, but it gets even crazier when you look underneath his mask. This is General Grievous's original face, which, by the way, is the only time we've ever seen Grievous under the mask. So by turning this into a 3D model, Fortnite just made Star Wars history, and it's hiding in the files. It is insane that they put all this detail into getting skins perfect when you won't even see them in game. And then they just totally mess up others. Ziggy from Season 3's Battle Pass is meant to be a chameleon. There's no hiding it, like he's just straight up a chameleon in hippie clothes. But technically, he's a chameleon mixed with Jonesy. You'd only notice if you watch the Season 3 cinematic showing them getting blasted into each other during the explosion, and now they're combined into this dude. The problem is, it doesn't excuse the fact that something just feels off. His tail is as straight as can be, which makes no sense considering chameleons are kind of known for their curly tails. And Fortnite already knew this, because if you look at any of Ziggy's loading screens or sprays, you'll see he was meant to have one. So obviously, they were forced to change it, probably because it was super buggy. It's not even the only way Epic messed up in Season 3. Before I explain why Superman is a problem, I gotta show you what they did with Dr. Doom. So obviously he first dropped in the original Marvel season back in like 2020, and then got a re-release in 2024. To make sure everyone was happy, they allowed his old glider from 4 years ago to be usable with the new Doom. It makes sense, right? Now we're back at Superman, and the DCU version is clearly not the first time he's arrived in Fortnite, considering he showed up during the alien invasion in Chapter 2. But this time around, for whatever reason, you could try to activate his old glider, only to be told it's reserved just for Superman. But you're playing as Superman. Even more recently, we got the release of a new item shop skin called Ella Slurp. Pretty cool, just a Slurp race car driver, but originally it wasn't gonna be this simple. In the surveys, you'll find her concept art, which shows she was actually gonna be a part of the Supernova Academy. Not sure why they decided to kick her out of superhero school before she came to the shop, but the Academy, well, it doesn't really exist anymore, so I guess it still makes sense. Speaking of the shop, you might have been extra confused to log in and find Mariah Carey and Santa Snoop Dogg in here. Like, we're literally in the middle of July, and that's actually the joke. Turns out there's people that actually start celebrating Christmas in July, which is weird, right? But this is also super controversial because Santa Dog was actually free back in Winterfest. So if you missed out during actual Christmas, now you gotta shell out 1,500 V-Bucks if you wanna. Sadly, Snoop won't be around to give you the V-Bucks this time, but he's not the only one helping people out. Did you know on Father's Day, the official King of the Hill account went live on TikTok playing Fortnite? And if you caught the live stream, you could DM asking for a code and get the Hank Hill skin for free. It also turns out that Epic secretly changed healing in Season 3. Ever since they were turned into items you could drink while walking, fans have been using this in like the coolest ways. So you could heal while falling or jumping, even moving around with low gravity. It was perfect. Well, after months of doing it, Epic caught on to this secret and actually released an update just to block players from healing while falling. But here's a tip. You can still do it with the updated Chug Jug. Epic eventually responded saying this was an accident, so expect it to be fixed next update. And that's not the only way we've tried to break the game, only to discover an insane secret. Fortnite dropped an emote called Galaxian. It's based on the super retro arcade game, but pay close attention and you would notice the high score going up the longer you sat here. Everyone immediately goes, well, how high can you take it? So they waited and they waited until the score got all the way up to 9,940. Fortnite capped this at such a random number, to this day we have no idea why. So it got me thinking, what other emotes can you do forever? And that led me to the Time It emote. It's literally a stopwatch, and trust me, it goes on way longer than you think. 5 minutes will pass, and then 10, and then half an hour, and before you know it, you're about to hit 60 minutes of sitting there doing an emote. You wasted a whole hour staring at a stopwatch, and then this happens.
Bruh.
Yeah, resets, all for nothing. And that's not the only way Fortnite players felt cheated. There are some people out there who spent thousands of dollars on the Yellow Jacket starter pack. First of all, I need to know who you are because that's an insanely unhinged thing to do. Second of all, you probably feel a little embarrassed now because she is back after 1,700 days. Lesson here is to stop buying skins.
Just bring back Travis Scott Fortnite. That's all you gotta do, bro. I'm telling you, it's gonna save everything. Just bring back Travis Scott. That's all I'm asking. The last thing I would ask is if you're watching this video, drop a sub right now. Hit the like button. Let me know what you guys think of the video so far, or what you think about the reaction. But damn, $1,000 for the skin is bananas, bro.
On eBay. Things get real interesting when you realize two direct competitors are on the map right now. Recently, Superman brought his Fortress of Solitude to the game when he dropped, and the Star Wars POIs are also still on the map from last season. If you think about it, Star Wars is owned by Disney, who also owns Marvel, and Superman is DC. So we are officially one step closer to having Marvel and DC interact in Fortnite. Now, that's a cool step ahead, but sometimes we're still going backwards on some things. For example, Chapter 6's collabs are the first Battle Pass crossovers to not get a third style. Previously, if your favorite character showed up in a battle pass, they'd at least get 3, but literally every collab this time around has a max of 2. Now, I'm not complaining because it's still not as bad as Chapter 4, which was the only time in Fortnite history we didn't get a single collab POI, and I'm not kidding. Instead, it was just homages in existing places like the Futurama ship crashed in Mega City or the Jaeger's basement in Anvil Square. Despite the fact that Optimus Prime, Miles Morales, even Invincible came to the game that year, they never got an official POI you why. On the topic of superheroes, the Academy has produced some pretty cool original characters like Morgan Mist, and her power of the Mist form is secretly OP. This isn't advertised as a feature, but if you use it when the storm hits, you won't just be immune to bullets, you'll take no storm damage. And sticking with the Supernova Academy for a second, did you know that their logo isn't original? In fact, it has been in the game since 2019. Because back then, Save the World got an event questline called Beyond the Stellar Horizon, and on the side of the rocket, you can see the Supernova logo. I don't really think they're connected though. Back in BR, the new Battle Bus SUV just dropped, and fans are shocked that it's the least customizable car we've ever had. But why? Well, if you go into the color styles, there are some major ones missing. Yellows, oranges, even some greens have been banned. Considering the Battle Bus looks like this, it makes sense why they didn't want you to turn it into a true school bus in Battle Royale. Like, I just know someone's gonna take a skid way too far. And they also don't want us to drive the Batmobile for some reason because it's still not an official collab. Even though Rocket League has like 4 Batmobiles, they haven't been able to show up in Fortnite. Here's a cool secret, you can make your own, it just looks like this.
You know what would be nice with Rocket Racing? If they were to introduce like a Mario Kart Fortnite crossover. I think that's what Rocket Racing needs, bro. In order for them to level it up, like Rocket Racing is cool right now, but if you can get like guns, attachments, turrets, special features or medallions, or you know, like a Mario Kart kind of simulation, I think that would be peak, bro. Peak levels.
On an even weirder note, you've never been able to have an odd amount of V-Bucks, right? It's always an even number because of the way everything's priced, but that changed recently. The Scoops and Slices bundle came out, and I guess Epic messed up the pricing, because if you own the Scoops pickaxe, but not the ice cream or pizza, the bundle costs you 667 V-Bucks. If you bought it, congratulations on having the weirdest V-Bucks balance in history. There are plenty of other useless features in the game like banners. No one really pays attention to these anymore, but you probably should. Because if you run around with the Kill Switch skin, whatever banner you have equipped actually shows up on his shoulders. In the edit styles, you can even change the color of it. Wait until you hear how deep the next rabbit hole goes. Little did we know, this Peely figure would actually have multiple references hidden inside of it. So how is that possible? Number 1 is him drinking a slurp juice. It's a nod to moments from both chapter 2 and 3. Is that a relationship with slurp juice in the past? In fact, Peely is kinda obsessed with it. Like in the invasion season, you could talk to Rick Sanchez for quests where he would allude to the fact that Peely was trying to crack the slurp formula. But the true nod here is to the collision event where Peely saves the day by driving an entire slurp truck to the mech. If you want to save the day yourself, consider looking out for Superman's Mythic. It's way more powerful now, and once you pick it up, you'll also discover an incredible secret. Grab the Call Crystal while using Superman's pen and ink edit style, and you'll actually get to keep wearing it instead of switching to the DCU version. Another random fun fact, Fletcher Kane's voice actor sounds like this, right?
Retrieve my stolen vehicle, or I'll retrieve your worthless hides.
Well, he's not so scary when you find out he also voiced Peppa Pig's dad.
I got it.
Hold on. What? Nah.
Oh, no, I don't.
Pretty random, but now let me show you the Cyberpunk skins. Honestly, I think it's one of the most underrated collabs, especially when you look at the Mantis blades. Wearing them normally will just look like a pair of gauntlets, but equip it with V and it's completely built into her arms, just like the game. It gets funnier when you realize that the person who voiced V in Cyberpunk is actually the same person who voiced the Imagined in Chapter 3. And we can't forget about the strangest main character of all, Big Dill. He was definitely a interesting addition to the Lawless season, but it was even more ridiculous when you discover he has his own music playlist. Go to Fortnite's official profile on Spotify and you can find Big Dill's picks. What you really should be focusing on though is the titles of the song. We've got milky cereal, sugar, yummy, stir fry, juice, even chicken tenders. Pretty obvious what the theme actually is here. And that's not the only strange thing fans have noticed, because they also pointed out that the new Walt skin looks more like Lachlan than his own Icon series, and honestly they kind of have a point. I'm really interested in what's about about to happen in Fortnite OG though, because we are now days away from the return of the rocket launch. And yes, it'll be an actual live event, but with changes. Turns out this time around, the rifts the rocket flies through won't be blue, they'll be an ominous red, possibly hinting the story for the rest of OG will change. Kinda makes you realize just how quickly Chapter 6 is going, like we're almost approaching the final 2 seasons, but I don't think anyone told the backtracker backbling. Ever since this came out in Chapter 1, it has been updated to show the latest BR map, and then in Chapter 4, it stopped. Since then, Epic has forgot to update this thing even though we're 5 months away from Chapter 7. Also, somehow vending machines have survived this whole time, although they're pretty cool, especially the secret emote that appears if you go on a spending spree. While spamming purchases, there is a very slim chance that your character will celebrate how rich you are. Looking onto the future, you might log into Blitz and not realize there's a teaser for the next update. Because at Retail Row, you'll spot cherry blossom trees and Japanese businesses opening up, all foreshadowing the arrival of Blitz Mega City on July 29th. And I know, we've been talking about Saitama and One Punch Man for a long time, but it really is happening now. He's been leaked for a while, and we all thought he'd show up in the Star Wars season because Darth Vader had files mentioning him, and then it just never happened. Well, in the latest Fortnite update, leakers have confirmed 100% that Saitama is coming. He's gonna have a pickaxe and 2 emotes, with one of them being...
Okay, this might be a W still, but I'm telling you, we need to get Ben 10 as a crossover, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. What I said on my stream the other day is that if we can get a Ben 10 medallion with the Omnitrix, I'm telling you, it's over, bro. It's over. It's over.
But while we've been waiting for Saitama, we've also been hoping for companions. These are the new pet cosmetics we'll be getting in the future, and every season we feel like this will be the time that it happens. Well, leakers have now revealed they are confirmed for Season 4. We've also known for a while now that The Simpsons will be the final mini-season of Chapter 6, but what we didn't know is this new information about a live event. We all assumed we'd get a Chapter 6 finale, but now we know it's indeed going to be themed around The Simpsons. Personally, I think it'd be pretty cool if The Simpsons power plant like exploded or something, considering in finale events everything always blows up. And I know we've all been waiting for Lex Luthor to come to the game. Being honest, he was the best part of the new movie, but some fans don't even have to wait. They're running around as Clark Kent and noticing something's off about him. What kind of scuff Lex is this? And while Superman is missing his hair, players in the Star Wars event quickly realized that Agent Jones was also missing something. If you wore a stormtrooper disguise, it turns out he has no teeth. Now, it's not like Epic's gonna fix that, he was never a skin to begin with, but they really should fix the mythic item in Chapter 6 that you can't get. Watch out when battling Core, because if you defeat her in the wrong spot, the items will fall into the wind tunnel and basically guarantee you'll never be able to pick them up. If it happens to you, look out for Storm Beast pom-poms instead. These are finally back, but I'm not sure if they're gonna be around for long. That's because they've already been removed 2 times this season. Thanks to glitches, they were gone for over 2 weeks, which is officially twice as long as the amount of time they've spent in the game. So use them while you can. And while I'm here giving you tips you never knew about, here's the best way to farm gold. Did you know that your bars from Reload secretly transfer to Battle Royale? Most players expect them to be separate things so they don't even try, but go into Reload, farm as much gold as you want, and then just load into BR and you'll be richer than ever. If you're bouncing between modes, keep an eye out for Close Encounters OG, because it turns out the name of this thing is false advertising. Despite it being the original version of Close Encounters, Epic made it 0 build only, which doesn't make sense. This was infamous back in the day for being a great sky-based mode, and now that's not possible. It's also duos only for some reason, but if you've got a group of more than 4 friends, then I have some very weird but also kind of cool news. Fortnite is secretly working on a new squad count, and it'll be the first time they've added this since Trios was introduced in Chapter 2. So we have solos, duos, trios, and squads. So what else could they possibly add? Well, how about 6? Yeah, this is happening, and it'll even extend to Blitz and OG. Now let's talk about the lifeguard emote. You wouldn't think there's anything special.
That is a dub 6-man. The player count's gonna go crazy. 6-man squad? Oh, we cooking. Tournaments? We cooking. We cooking.
About this until you tried with both male and female characters. I guess even a lifeguard tower isn't safe from man spreading. Out of 50, how many things did you know? Let me know.
W video, bro. W top 5 gaming is a W video. A lot of things that talk about there, you know. But I think it's entertaining, bro. Fortnite just needs to fix a couple of things, bring Travis Scott, and we happy, we good, we sorted, bro. That's all we want. That's all we want, gang. But I hope you enjoyed this part of the video. Do make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like bell. If you want to stay in touch when I go live or when I'm going on my next stream, make sure to hit the notification bell. But until then, Progress Guy out. You get me?